Derek with D&D Wild Outdoors here. Wanted to come to you with a quick clip on how to and how I do little modifications on store-bought lures to get a better presentation for walleye and panfish and such. Now these are going to be specifically walleye changes, and these lures are, when you purchase these from the store, they're slightly generic. This is actually a flutter spoon from Clam. It's a great spoon. It's got a great look. The cold colors in it are excellent. It's got some red sparkles on it. Now I've already modified it quickly from store-bought, just and put a single blood hook on it, a red hook, as you can see there. It came with it had some a treble hook with some feather tied on it. I like that idea, and the reason behind that, to me, is 2 nights ago I was out walleye fishing, and I had a strike, and the walleye grabbed the minnow, and when I set the hook, I felt the minnow tear off. Now I went back down and I pounded the bottom, and I came back up just like you should. Now he shot back off the bottom, and he sat there looking at my lure. The next time I jigged it, I could feel that there wasn't a minnow on there. There was no bait. So I am going to modify a couple of these blood hooks today and show you how I'm going to add a little bit of life after bait loss. So that's my goal today. Is I'm heading out this evening, and I wanna prepare a couple hooks that have something more to offer after you've lost bait, so you could still get a secondary strike. So stick with us. Let's modify some store-bought lures and make the bite and make our fishing adventures better. All right, guys. So when we jump into this real quick. Now, I don't know if all of you have tied flies. I'm sure you have used flies in your fishing adventures, or trout, those type of things. But what I wanted to show you quick, as in store-bought jigs for tying flies and such, you can get them fairly affordable. I chose to go the even cheaper route and make my own. So I took a C-clamp, a very small C-clamp, added my own stainless steel to it, and put these little vice grips on it. So basically, onto this table, simply spin open the C-clamp, send it out into your table apparatus, whatever it is that you choose to use, tighten it down, and you have a fly vise. Now simply spin this to tighten it up. So I'm going to start out making these with these I believe they're number 8 blood hooks. I really like this red color, and whether the fish prefer it or not, it's what I choose. So I'm going to set that inside the vise, doing no damage to the hook, and simply twist it tight enough to be able to work the end of that hook. And that turned out perfect. So I'm going to zoom this in as I add some additional feathering and some bucktail to it. And that's my goal, like I originally said, is to get a little bit of life on this hook, so that if you lose your main bait, that they will still be attracted to this. Now I've accumulated some of this store-bought stuff. I have a great little trout store here that just is loaded up with this kind of stuff, and you can see the sparkle and the shimmer in this. You can cut and add little pieces of this for that added attractant, you know. Bucktails, typical bucktails. You know, all this stuff is very easy to tie on, very easy to put on here. And there's just so much. I mean, the list goes on and on of what you can buy. And the average person, anybody can do this. It's relatively affordable. Now, I started doing this. I went to Florida for a week, and I had some custom fly rods made, and I wanted to make up my own streamers. So I made a ton of streamers, and using other YouTube videos, kind of learned how to do this stuff. Now these are all synthetics. You know, there's tons of this, tons of the bucktail coloring, purple, orange. Oh, the chartreuse is one of our favorites, and that's probably what I will go with right now is a chartreuse, because all ice fishermen know the fire tiger colors, the chartreuse, are killer and key for high vis and through the ice in the wintertime. So that's what we're gonna shoot for, and I'm gonna build this up and let you guys watch. All right, guys. So here we are. We're gonna do a mimic of a emerald shiner. So we want to do kind of a white. The characteristics is white, some silver flash, and maybe a green or a light blue. So you basically want to start out putting some backer on your hook, so you have a place to begin to wind on your bucktails and such. So take this, leave a tail. I'm going to do a quick wrap on the head of this hook. Now the treble hook definitely makes it a little more harder to use, only due to the fact that there's 3 hooks on it, stopping you from being able to do a large wind. So we'll trim the tag end here. Maybe. There we go. Okay, so back to that bucktail. Bucktail and the coloring on this. Now, like I said, we want to try to mimic an emerald shiner. So what I want to do here is I've already trimmed some of this bucktail off, store-bought bucktail here. Trim that off, and I want to make sure that I do not put too much on here. I still want the original, the true live emerald shiner head to be the main objective. So I don't want to cover that up with this bucktail or whatever material it is that we put on here, or that you would put on here. So you're going to begin to put the bucktail on the hook and wind your material in. Make a nice tight wind on that. Nice. So we've got our little bit of white on here, and I think we should probably roll this a little bit. Put a little bit more on this other side. What I plan to do is, once we cut this, we'll do we'll give it a haircut and trim it down so that it doesn't become so much in such a large area. And these walleye's mouths are very hard, so when you set that hook, you want the most of the hook that you can get on there doing the work for you. Now, I'm not gonna lie, laying your bucktail or any material on a hook, it takes a little bit of finesse, and I honestly have only done this for 1 year. So, YouTube videos and watching professionals do this stuff is a great way to learn. And like I said, I enjoy it. It's fun. It's a great winter activity, but definitely not a professional at it by any means. Alright, so there we've put our little bit of bucktail on there. Now I want to put just a little bit of shimmer on here. So we're going to take a few strands of this store-bought, and it's got a very reflective attitude to it, and I like that about that. It's going to have that on the jig. It'll have that shimmer effect as a minnow tail would have. So I'm going to roll this back over a little bit here, and we're going to add this. Now, like I said, also I'm really trying to do my best not to put too much on here. Walleye are a very finicky fish, and I don't want to make too much of an additive on this. But again, I want to give myself more opportunity to have a second chance on these fish, for the simple fact of why not? A little bit of work on our part as the outdoorsman can make or break the situation. And I think that's all I'm going to do right there. Now they make a really cool tool, store-bought, and this is for tying knots. Twist it around a few times, pull the hook out of it, maybe. Cinch it down. So once you've completed this, now this is what it's going to look like here. So you've got your hook, and you've got your bucktail. So now you've got some life on it. Now, like I said, I want to be able to put my minnow on here and have that be the main objective. And as of right now, we've got a lot of stuff on here, so I want to trim this back. And this is simply trial and error. I'm not gonna lie, because this bucktail is kind of unforgiving. At the same time, it can be quite a pain in the butt. Now you see, it's got a great fluff to it, and once you put that in the water, it's really going to have a good look to it. You can do a little haircut, do a little trimming on it, you know, prune these little whiskers off of it. Now I'm going to trim it even more because that to me is still too much. Now if it was all I was going to use, I would definitely want something exactly like that. That shimmer on there along with the white bucktail is it's key. It's beautiful. It'll work excellently. So I'm going to cut this back just a little bit more so I still have room for my minnow head. Now you can see it's very short cropped. Once I put a minnow head on, it's going to hang to about here. So theoretically, it'll work perfectly. I'm going to trim these back just a little bit. So there we go. I truly feel that if there's a fish that has already striked your lure and has taken your minnow off, if you drop that back down on that spoon, that will mimic that minnow head well enough that an active fish will hit that again. So that's my goal, and I'm going to take this out tonight. I'm going to actually put it to use and see if I can't get a fish to hit it and bring you guys some homemade footage of a modified lure that is easy, simple, and affordable to do. Now, on these windings, highly recommended to super glue it. Tighten those windings down with some super glue. The water won't affect it, and that's key for holding everything together. So, sure appreciate you being with us today. Hope these little modifications and kind of just proving to you guys that taking that time and having a little fun and playing with playing with this idea of change is a good thing. Try to make things better for yourself. So thanks for joining us. We'll see you on the water.